Good day. I hope you have some time reserved to listen. It will be a short lecture on how to look in a broader perspective to the global value chain and companies and moreover to local communities, as this first slide is already suggesting. Most of the time, if we think about corporate social responsibility, one we do that we focus on core companies. It's on corporate, it's on the business. In many situations, we look at these companies in terms of they are part of a network, a part of a chain, a part of a global value chain. And in that chain, if we look at that in a more broader perspective, it's on the one side, those are the companies in the developed world, and on the other side, we have also the local communities at the other side of the chain in the developing world. And in this short lecture, I want to show you that not only we have to focus on companies and how we can stimulate these activities in the developing world, but also that we can stimulate local economic development at the other side of the chain. It starts with something that we can borrow from the World Bank. And now if you can see this definition, that's important. The purpose is to build upon the economic capacity of a local area to improve its economic future and the quality of life for all. So here it's not only about creating economic life, but it's also about quality of life. So it entails much more than just economic thinking. I did this project, this idea is based on a project I worked out by support of the Ministry of Planning in Indonesia. The Dutch embassy was paying, the NESO, Dutch government was paying, and we based our intellectual and theoretical work on the World Bank ideas. We did this from 2003, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. About 6 years we did this project. We called it local economic development. Sometimes in the literature it's also local economic resource development. So you will see in my slides sometimes a confusion of led and learned. Sorry for that. It starts first with the idea, if you set up economic activities, that it's not almost impossible to work with all people in the region or in local situations. So how to set up regional development, that is make a choice of people and find teams. We later on we formulated as kind of three kind of dream teams, and these dream teams we gave a training in 3 stages, and we had input from stakeholders. That's what we're doing. When we're talking about create such a team, train the teams, we took them from their own small cities all over remote areas in Indonesia to more central Java, to Bandung, to the Institute of Technology, and then later on we brought them to Groningen. We lured them and gave them examples of how it could be, and then later on we returned back with them to Indonesia and had discussions on their local side. So imagine we created dream teams and we learned them about how to set up local business. It's about these kind of local people we talk. People from civil society, people from the government, people who are fishermen, you can see them on the backside over there, and from the local government, also from local universities, and we worked with them. In this case, it was about Bao. It was about, you can see here the fishermen, and that they are going through where they can create seaweed, a kind of a crop that's living in the water and it's cultivated and it's growing over there. It looks like this, seaweed. With the fisherman, you can also see that he's smoking, we're producing food. They break it down into pieces. One piece they bring it back to the rope, bring it back to the sea. The other part they dry and bring it and let it be sold by the middleman. We did this kind of projects, not just this was in Bao over there, somewhere there, but we also went to Medan, we went to Palembang, Belitung, and places through all kind of projects we did. Kupang, we went over there. We worked with them. What did we do? It was about batik in Pekalongan. Who was involved? That was the first one. Because we were reflecting on this work, what were we doing? Local entrepreneurs, the families who produce it, and a local civil organization. We had a second one in Belitung, Fish Eben. Local civil servant organizations, a local entrepreneur and small women. And if we look, for example, in Baobao in the middle, Seaweed, local civil servant organization, Corporation of Fishermen. We had also something in Cocoa, in Poso, a much more difficult area to visit. Local civil servants, team members and outside the team, an NGO and a company. Did it work? The first initiatives were taken by the national government. I can read my slides myself. It was also depending on how was the composition of the dream team and how was the local civil servant working with it. Who were joining us and who were taking the most initiative. That differs over the several projects. So looking at what we do was, on the one hand, we were working with different actors in the dream team. On the other hand, we were not just working on economic activities, but also empowerment, trust, transparency and investments, and learning as a dream team together and how to act as a group. Interesting, it was about local economic development. Now, later on, we changed the title ourselves into local economic and social development. In terms of looking at the global value chain, we were creating social values at the other side of the chain, supporting them in setting up economic activities, but also the process of empowerment was important, and we noticed that it was not just entrepreneurs and small companies in government, but also civil society actors in the local setting who were important. So, paying attention to the other side of the chain means not only paying attention to setting up economic activities, but also social ones, and including more actors than we are usual to do with setting up economic activities. Thank you very much. This will be the end.